Hello everybody, what's happening? My name's Neil, welcome along to Midlife Motors. Before I do too much, my neighbour's just got a new car. Go past it slowly. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Anyway, welcome along. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done an upload. Really has been so much going on other than cars, to be honest with you. Living on the coast here, as I do in Scotland, it can get quite brutal, and we've had a brutal couple of weeks. So there's been a few repairs to have to do at home, to be honest with you. Add to that the fact that work's been busy, and unfortunately the dog's had an injury as well, and cars, test drives, that sort of thing have kind of taken a back seat. However, it's Sunday now, we've got a nice afternoon. My Scottish friend that helps me, he's got a quiet afternoon as well. So what we thought was, we'd take the Rav for a drive today. Now, since I've moved up here, I've kind of changed my tune. Given the roads that we have and the circumstances that we drive and the weather conditions and the amount of salt they chuck on the roads around here, I've gone off having a nice car as a daily driver. Living down in London, it was kind of the thing to do. But up here, nah, you're much better off with having something cheap and cheerful to take on the worst of winter, and then have something fancy to parked in the garage. So here we are in the Rav, 2009 Rav4. I think I've mentioned that a few times. Now I'm going to probably be a little bit biased here because I've got a confession to make. I was the second owner of this car. I owned this car for a 4-year period between it being 5 and 9 years old. I got it at about 30,000 miles and I took it to 90,000 miles, and it was tremendous. It was absolutely superb, this car. I couldn't fault it in any way, shape or form. It did a lot of miles and they were hard work, and it just took it in its stride. So this one is the XTR model, so it's top of the tree, top of the line, leather heated seats. In fact, I might just switch mine on. Leather heated seats, which are electrically operated, sat nav, Bluetooth, cruise control, trip computer, you name it. This car, the only thing missing is the sunroof, but hey ho. So this is the top of the line car, which is good. It was a nice place to be. The seats are really comfy. The steering is quite light, which was good. All the controls are quite light, which was good for me because I was using it pretty much all day, every day. It was my office at one point in my life. So the first thing really we've got to touch on in this car is the power plant, is the engine. This is the D4D engine in this car, and it is a monstrously strong engine. This is a 150 horsepower one. There was 134, 150 and 180. The 180 wasn't a reliable engine. It loved a head gasket or two, and it was barely any more powerful. I drove both cars and there wasn't any performance difference between them. The good thing about this car being a 2009 was it doesn't have a diesel particulate filter. Toyota didn't start making them mandatory until 2010. However, if you bought the 180 horsepower, it had a DPF right from the very beginning. So I don't know if that led to its unreliability. Anyway, blah blah blah. So 150 horsepower doesn't sound a lot, doesn't set the world on fire figure. I mean, you could go out and buy yourself a Nissan Qashqai, which is probably a 1.5 now, which will make 150 horsepower. However, this car has 250 torques in it. Your Nissan Qashqai won't have anything like that. In fact, if you go out in the UK, this is, and buy the most expensive, all hybrid, whatever it might be, most recent Rav, I think you'll get 223 torques. So mid-range, your normal SUVs, your run-of-the-mill ones, the ones that don't have a prestige bag, when you put this car in third gear, put your foot down, it's quite laggy, and then crikey, it just rockets, and it's got quite a good power band as well. And when you change gear, it doesn't relent. So that's something, one of the reasons I kept the car for so long was I just enjoyed its performance. Crazy to say from a bland Toyota Rav, but this car has got great performance. So away from the engine, other things obviously you take into consideration when you're driving a car: gear change. Always noticed with this car, the gear stick seems a bit over to the left. I mean, maybe I've got short arms or something like that, but it seemed a way over. It's a long throw between gears, but it's easy to use. It's so light. I mean, it's one finger light, the clutch is light, all the pedals are light, which really makes it easy for driving every day. The steering's quite vague, and it returns to the center too quickly. It doesn't really have any sort of feedback in it, but I mean, it's probably not meant to. When pushing on in the car, it understeers. Although it's four-wheel drive, it's not a permanent four-wheel drive. It's a Haldex type system, so you'll find it understeers. What you've got to do is you've just got to keep a bit of throttle on, and it'll engage the rear and it'll help you get around the corner. It's not like the modern stuff. It doesn't engage as quickly. It doesn't drive as well from the rear, so you just have to be a little bit careful. This car will understeer quite badly. It's a big-ish engine up front, so that helps. There's a lot of weight over the front axle, so in the weather conditions that we get around here and the snow, this car's great, absolutely superb. It's on the same tires that it came from the factory with, which are an all Geolanders. Crikey, I can't remember who makes them. And it's an all-weather tire, so it's good in the dry, it's good in the wet, it's good in the snow, but it doesn't like that. These tires don't like those changing conditions, you know, when it's starting to get wet or it's starting to dry. It prefers a dry road, or they prefer a dry road or a wet road, so you've just got to be mindful of that when you're driving it as well. Driving position's great. Steering wheel, I mean, it's almost got a flat bottom. Steering wheel's lovely in your hands. I mean, it's just a nice place to be. Visibility's great. The back window's very flat, so you can see tons out the back. It's just got acres of space, and it's quite quiet. You know, this car's 11 years old, done 111,000 miles, and it's just quiet. So other things that are handy to know about this car, I'm going to try and pull over in a minute and we can have a quick look around the inside, see how much space it's got. Pros and cons off the top of my head. Toyota, so it's a timing chain, not a belt, so you don't have that expense. These things pass MOTs for fun. By the coast here, the car's been by the coast for about 7 years of its life. A little bit of rust starting to show, but nothing major as yet. The boot space is good. It's a very square opening, so it can take a lot. It does have a hinge door. That was the only thing really that used to bug me about the car, the hinge door. See, when you're trying to load up and when you're in tight spaces, and when you've got a trailer on, it's a daft idea. But I'll try and find somewhere to pull up, and we'll have a bit of a look around the outside and the inside, because it works well. Right, we've managed to find a place sort of down in a dip, so we're away from the worst of the wind, because I really wanted to just show the outside of the car, just so that you get an idea of what we're talking about. Bonnet up first. Here's the engine that I was talking about earlier. Everything on this is original. You see it's a bit dusty because you never have to open this. This is on the original clutch. I think it's on the original battery, and it just takes standard servicing. These engines don't burn any oil, so if you're looking at one of these cars and somebody tells you they do, they definitely don't. The one thing they do like, though, like most diesels of this age, that's the fuel filter. Replace that annually. It likes fuel filters, otherwise you'll feel it starting to cough a little bit. Anyway, we'll have a look around the inside. 17-inch wheels on these, so the tires aren't too expensive. Good brakes, good brake system on this. Good bit of ride height. You can see the ground clearance here. Like most Toyotas, quite a firm ride, quite a, I wouldn't say harsh, but a bit of a jiggly ride, but that's very Toyota-esque, I've found, as is the interior. I mean, it's nice, it's leather, it's electric, it's heated, it has auto lights, it has auto wipers, it has a hard drive, but it's dark. Like all Toyotas, it's dark in here. I don't know why they persist on doing that. It's such a shame. But nothing's worn, nothing's torn. It's all good. This is the bit I didn't like. I don't like the fact that the door did this, because if you're towing something or parked up close to something, that's a pain in the bum, this thing. However, like I said, this lies flat, so you can have masses of stuff in there. I've actually even slept in the back of this on a mattress when I was at Silverstone, I think it was. So there you go, lots of lights inside as well, which is good, so you can see your way around. There we go. The advantage of having a slightly older SUV is as well, you don't mind taking it places where if you've just spent 40, 50, 60 grand, you might not bother. Will it make it up here? Of course it will. It's all-wheel drive. I think he's got the diff locks on at the moment, just to give him a little bit of extra traction. Does have diff locks. They only work, I think, up to about 25 miles an hour and only for about 15 minutes, but it'll get you out of the worst of anything. I used them once when I was a little bit caught in snow. So there we go. I was keen to bring this car to the channel. Just, well, two reasons really. One is, it was a big part of my life for a while, and it was I enjoyed it. I really, great ownership experience. And the other is, you know, on YouTube, not everybody is glamorous and has the mega box that is often the way it's all portrayed. So something like this ticks a box for a lot of people. Just wanted to share the experience of this car. Maybe it will help you. If it does, if you've liked it, if you can give us a thumbs up, that would be good. If you could share, that would be excellent. And if you could subscribe below, that would be fantastic too. A few more cars coming to the channel now. Got an electric one. That's going to be new on me. Don't have any experience of electric stuff. That's going to be interesting. But anyway, I shall sign off. Thanks for watching. It's getting dark. Crikey, just gone 4:30. Winter's here. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye. Haha.